So, before the video actually starts, let's do a brief content warning for discussions of predation and mentions of V Omega and Vigelcio Centinove. Another really brief thing I'll also bring up to our attention, just so it's on record, is also the fact that part of this call has been cut out due to having very intimate details about Mr. A, which we will not leak for his privacy, even though he's a complete dickhead, because here we don't just leak shit from people. Anyway, that's all. Enjoy. Sup clowns, today we're going to be looking at a particular call that was held in the SCC Courthouse, which is a conflict resolution server that deals with matters concerning the CCN's members. It's ran by Aaron Tempest, Autumn Kohai, Ephraim Josine, Lio Convoy, and myself. A small bit of preamble aside, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the context. So, a user or ex-commentator by the name of Mr. A, who had still been hanging around our spaces at the time, had been found out via the Cloud Palace logs to have known about Vigelcio still hanging around known serial predator V Omega, amongst a few others who seemingly didn't want to speak up at fucking all for some reason, even though they absolutely should have. After these screenshots were dug up and put into the dedicated Cloud Palace thread in Courthouse, an argument sprung up between Mr. A, Ephraim, and Fractured Light in that thread. This, of course, went nowhere, with Mr. A basically trying and failing miserably to run Light and Ephraim around in circles. This led to a call being held by them to put Mr. A to task, but also to ask him questions regarding the situation. I showed up somewhere around the middle of the call to help moderate, and I also watched the previous ordeal in the thread happen in real time, feeling my brain cells wanting to die. After this call, Mr. A was officially cast out from our spaces and exiled. After this, Mr. A tried to lie about the situation and apparently also tried to lie to Firebolt PT, another ex-commentator, about what happened, so due to him lying about the call, it is now public. Anyways, get a drink, you'll fucking need one, trust me, and let's get right into the call now.
So I am recording now. Hello, Mr. A. Are you gonna unmute?
Yeah, Mr. A, you're one of the people who needs to unmute.
I'm sorry, someone was talking to me. Hi.
You're fine, you're fine. So, Mr. A, you didn't answer any of the questions I kept asking you in side chat.
Side chat?
I'm not
thread, right?
Not
looking
side chat,
at
the
side
thread.
chat.
The thread is what I meant. Sorry, I misspoke.
Okay, restate.
How long?
Restate them real quick.
How long was the grace period you had where it was understandable for Vigil to...
Sir, I don't know!
You don't know? Then it's not really a grace period, is it? Is it just going to be vibes that determine when it ends? I said ends.
It was understood and eventually, like, he should stop talking to him. I don't know when, okay? It wasn't my call to make, so I couldn't give you an exact number because that number was never decided upon. All that was decided upon, eventually he needs to stop talking to V.
Mr. A.
Okay, first of all, chill your beans.
Yeah,
swear to God. Second of all,
calm down a little.
You're saying I didn't answer the question when I answered it twice now. 3 times with this.
Okay, and chill your beans.
Mr. A, if you need to take a minute to calm down, that's perfectly fine. We'll allow you to do that.
Yeah, I'll take that minute.
Okay, we'll give you a couple of minutes.
Huckster is typing. He's typing in my DMs. Like, oh, did he end up finishing the message? Also, I misread the chat box time. It's actually next week. I'm stupid. Let people know that my shift ends in an hour. Yes! That'd be awesome. He's not here. I don't know why I'm talking to him.
Okay. How's Mr. A? Have you calmed down?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Enough, I'd say.
Okay.
So if I may explain to you...
I would like to explain what I was saying real quick. The problem I've had with your answers so far, Mr. A, is they're very collective. Do you know what I mean by that? Fine if you don't.
I understand what you mean. It's I'm giving an answer based on what everyone else around me was saying. Is
Well,
that what you mean?
well, essentially, yes. You're telling me that like there was no agreed upon time, but I'm not asking for like what the majority consensus of the Cloud Palace was. I'm asking for what you personally would have considered an unacceptable amount of time. When you would have sat there and
And
gone,
I answered that already, and Light gave me a hard time for that.
okay,
So hang on.
Uh,
What did you answer with for the?
I answered with, I answered with, you know, thinking on it now, 1 to 2 weeks would have been a grace period that I personally would have decided.
Okay, but you
And,
earlier.
and and then you tell me that this conversation happened in months after V got outed,
okay,
Yes, it
which
did. 2 months.
okay, but Mr. A, I think you're getting a little confused here. Now, to be fair, this conversation does have a few different moving parts, so I'm not like calling you dumb for getting confused or anything. What Light was asking wasn't what your standards are today. It's like, okay, imagine when this happened if I used a time machine to go back and talk to 2020 Mr. A, okay? What would that 2020 Mr. A have told Light, assuming the same question was asked?
I I really don't know. Maybe I would have said like a month or two.
Okay.
I was gonna ask it blatantly. So you don't know. Did you even think about it that hard at the time?
No, and that is a problem that's been, brought up to me indirectly more than once since Cloak and Dagger.
Okay, because there are multiple times, where you are confronted, or not confronted, you are told about this. There's at least 2 cases, um, where you are made aware of the fact that, hey, Vigil and V are friends, and you say nothing. And the biggest thing that has to me is that if this grace period is any less than a year, you're fucked. Because the first mention of Vigil cutting V off is a year after this conversation. In fact, I could probably find it. It's not necessarily that he actually cut V off, but he makes an insinuation of something that would imply he cuts V off around the time that Spoctor was doing his bullshit. And it's not until then that there is any record that Vigil cut V off. In 2022, January 2022, so almost a year and a half. So, do you think if we time traveled back to 2020, your fucking 2020 self would have said a year and a half?
I don't think I would have. No.
And
Eh,
I guess another question is, because everybody was hoping for Vigil to cut V off, did any of you do anything to make sure that would happen?
I don't know if anyone else did. All I did personally was tell V I didn't want to hear about anything V was getting up to.
I'm sobbing.
Wait, you told V this or you told Vigil this?
Vigil, sorry.
Okay,
A little
okay.
worked up.
You misspoke.
So-
Okay, not a big deal. Not a big deal. It happens.
So, okay. Your response to Vigil. Because if you wanted Vigil to cut V off, you were doing an atrocious job of showing it. You told him it was okay 2 months after the allegations to stick around him. And never, at any point, let him know that you weren't okay with it all of a sudden. Like, this wasn't even an, oh, are you okay with me defending it? You guys actively, including you, actively supported this friendship. So I don't want to buy this fucking grace period shit, because I would buy this grace period shit if it was, something where it's like you made it very clear that you did not approve or something like that. Or at the very least, if you had gone back at some point to tell him, hey, it's been a while. These allegations have they still remain pretty solid. You should cut V off, or we're going to cut you off. And instead of doing something like that, you encourage him, and then you say nothing, and then a year and a half later, he implies he might have cut V off.
Might have. Is this the screenshot where you reply, "Oh, this is 2 months after the allegations," or is it the other screenshot?
When he implies he might have cut V off is a different conversation I will put inside chat about Spoctor. Because Vigil was all like, I would never go to the defense of my friend. Sure, I would do it at first, but I would never do it prolonged. That does have an implication that he cut V off. But that was a year and a half after these interactions.
I also want to point out the 2 months later conversation. Not only is that Vigil saying that V is still hanging out with him in some form or another, it's V interacting with Autumn, who wasn't in the community at the time, but was still associated for a while. He still clearly had some idea of the ongoings because he knew that Vigil, or that Autumn had been blocked by Vigil. Or, no, vice versa. Vigil had been blocked by Autumn.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there. The community was keeping tabs on what V was up to because obviously we didn't want V to go and hurt somebody else, okay? So there were people that were keeping tabs on what he was getting up to.
Okay.
I was not personally one of those people, but I understand that was something that was happening at the time.
Okay, was it ever asked how these people were keeping tabs on V?
Did he private his Twitter?
I don't know.
If not, then it's as easy as just going to that and looking.
Okay, so you assumed that any updates regarding V's behavior were from somebody looking at his social media accounts, basically.
For a lot of that, yeah.
Okay.
V came out and added Autumn. He actually did that. Yes, he didn't have to, but he did.
Yeah, that's why I'm really confused about this particular screenshot, because this doesn't communicate to me that Vigil was still in contact with V. It communicates to me, oh, something happened on social media, and Vigil saw that and told people about it.
How would V know that Vigil blocked Autumn? Did Vigil post about it publicly?
I don't remember.
Also, mic change for the OBS recording. I switched the input device. So, did you think about that, or did that just not even cross your mind?
No, it didn't cross my mind, and I've been made to understand numerous times at this point that is an issue of mine that I've been needing to work on and have been trying to work on since Cloak and Dagger.
So, to recap, you were told of Vigil's friendship with V had an indefinite grace period, and that you don't even fucking know how long it would have been. And a year and a half passes before any implication that V cut Vigil off, or vice versa. And in that year and a half, you've admitted to us that you have done fucker shit to do anything about it. Am I missing anything?
Well, what would I have done? Okay, let me. When Vigil had gone around saying, hey, I don't want to talk about this, I read that as, hey, maybe it's a sore spot for him that his friend got out as a groomer, therefore he wouldn't want to talk about it.
No, I'm not
Okay.
accepting that. You were told.
No,
You were
no.
told.
Of course you don't want to. Of course you don't want to accept.
let
Yeah,
me.
don't.
Okay.
Guys,
Can I?
guys.
I have a bit of a different way to explain this. So, Mr. A, imagine a dog shits on your carpet. Okay, what do you do?
The logical answer would be to clean that up.
Well, what do you do to make sure the dog doesn't do it again?
Train them, not have the carpet. I don't know.
You tell them, bad dog, don't do that again. Now, dogs can't tell you that they dislike being told that, but I think it's easy to assume they do. That should have no impact if you are condemning someone for actually abhorrent behavior. Am I making sense to you, Mr. A?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
What's frustrating me is that you guys know how I feel about it now, right? So like, never mind. You probably know where I'm going with that. I'm just never mind.
Well, I want to be absolutely clear, Mr. A. I don't think you agree with your past actions, if that's what you're trying to imply. What I do believe
Yeah.
is what I do believe
Like,
is that this is a error that you need to be that needs to be talked about on some level with you. Like, that's the only thing I believe. I'm not saying you currently agree with this.
mhm. And the fact I don't have the best memory about it and leads to, light insinuating I'm lying about things.
Skill issue.
Okay.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I think you are.
Yeah, I don't have the best. I know people hate hearing, memory issues, but like the best I can do regarding something that happened 5 stinking years ago is recall like vague things, not specifics.
How did Cloak
Okay.
and Dagger not read? Like, how did Cloak and Dagger not like cause a memory trigger and be like, huh, maybe I did know about this.
I had thought about that for weeks after Cloak and Dagger, and that conversation never came up in my mind. It was definitely on my mind, you know, me thinking about how much I actually knew. But that conversation did not come to memory.
Well, okay, Mr. A, the problem isn't like the conversation in particular. It's you didn't realize you knew any of this. Like, have you mentioned that you were aware in some vague sense for quite a while afterwards? Have you given, even if not a specific time frame, at least a general one?
I don't. I was struggling with the idea of how much did I actually know, and I ended up drawing like my conclusion was I didn't know enough to say that I definitively did or not when
Did you
it would
look?
have been relevant.
Did you look?
No, I did. I don't think I perused Cloud Palace for any conversations I had with Vigil about it. No.
Because I found it in minutes. I wasn't even searching for anything you specifically said. I searched Vigil friends and I found it.
Well, that's not something I thought to do.
But
I'm sorry.
Wait, so you put all this effort into thinking about it, but like you never went back and researched it? I don't get your line of reasoning here, Mr. A.
Well, I figure a big part of that would be I don't remember me saying that I was okay with Vigil staying in contact with V.
But you were
I don't remember saying that, so
But you were like really worried that you had. Wouldn't you go back and double check?
I combed through my DMs with Vigil, but beyond that, no, I didn't look.
Okay, so you did make some attempt to look, you just looked in the wrong place.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, that's a bit more understandable. In my view, I don't know, Light, what do you think?
I can understand that. Like,
Actually,
I'm
Mr.
still not
A.
happy, but like that part, yeah, I can gather. I can understand that.
Actually, Mr. A, can you export your DMs with Vigil?
I'll need to see if I can.
Okay,
I'm a little
are
I'm a little hesitant to on the basis of there were some inappropriate things for that were discussed a handful of times,
do you mean like YouTube
like
had?
adult things.
Okay, Mr. A, I don't care about that personally. Anyone here who I've looked through the exports of can confirm I don't care about that. But
Yeah, no.
if you don't feel uncomfortable with that, then what we could also do is we could also just have you screen share while you search certain words. That would also be okay. Just want to see
All right,
something.
I'll need to see if I can. Let me see if I can pull it up. I removed Vigil as a contact a long time ago, but I'll
Uh,
try and see if I can pull up those
Have you blocked him? Have you blocked him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I blocked him. Yes.
So he'll be on your blocked list, and you'll be able to find him through that.
yeah, I was about to say.
Worst case scenario, I have his tag. What you can do is add DM immediately on add, and he won't even see it because you'll take seconds.
All right, I managed to pull up the DMs.
Okay, now can you share your screen, Mr. A?
I will. Can you screen share on mobile?
Yes, you
Yes,
Yes.
you
can.
can. If there's a little if you'll notice at like the bottom of the thing when you like click into the call proper, there's like a little toolbar with with like the hang up, the mute, the controller, the side chat. If you pull it up, you should be able to see an option just below where soundboard would be, where it says share your screen.
Okay, I see it. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. So,
All right. My
what?
connection's probably gonna go down the crapper while I'm broadcasting this, but
By the way, Light, is your screen share picking up Mr. A, or your recording picking up Mr. A's screen share?
I can make it do that if you would like.
Okay, I'd recommend you do so because
All
I
right.
tend to only record audio. So, Mr. A, I
Okay.
want you.
Wait. Before give me a second. I would like to get my recorder. Yes, that works. Let me just make sure the audio is not double picking up. It is muted. Yeah. Okay. Start speaking.
Hello?
okay.
All right.
Hello.
Perfect.
Hello.
All right. You can look through now.
Okay, so Mr. A, I want you to search for V.
The search the
No mention?
Nothing.
Do
Okay,
friends.
and
Right. Check friends.
check friends.
No. As in search friends.
search the
Oh,
word
There's the word
friends,
friends.
Mr. A. Okay, I still don't mind having you, so I don't. Mr. A, when was the last time you DM'd Vigil?
several years ago.
Okay.
2 years.
Oh,
It's like
Cloak and Dagger was longer ago than I remembered. I saw 2 years ago and was like, wait, didn't?
yeah, Cloak and Dagger was like when Vigil had removed everybody. It
Can
was
you keep
Yeah.
scrolling for a little bit?
Yeah.
pre Cloak and Dagger was the last time I actually spoke with him.
Okay.
Because I don't want my friends. My close friends would only be the exception. I know them both, but I have both. The reason I'd suggest you. Well, I'm moving in close with. Okay. Me and another friend. I'm gonna move back to America, living with 2 close friends. You want to know who else I got friendly with that had a negative thing for the SCC? Can you pull that one up for me and let me see the context around it?
Okay.
Undead me. Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
I so don't care.
Okay.
I definitely remember sharing out friendly at some point. Okay, time with friends. Yeah, you can scroll that one. No, I said past that one. You don't have to show us that.
Okay.
Wait, what's that? He's done some fucked things up, but I'll even admit it, but I'm just not going to leave him. Yeah, that looks like V. Click on that, make sure.
Yeah, so start scrolling up. But has it...
Oh, man.
Oh, it's about.
Okay. Huh.
Wait, scroll a little bit higher.
Okay.
This looks like... I just scroll a little bit higher.
Okay.
Up.
I'll
let you...
message.
Let me know when the conversation starts. And then we'll read. Okay. I want to commission an artist for a potential project, but they found out who I'm... They found out who I'm still friends with. You know... That's V. Did you know that was V? Because he calls V you know who in the Cloud Palace a lot too.
Yes, I think I knew that was him. I asked him when the last time they spoke to each other was. Didn't get an answer from him.
So you knew in 2022 as well. He reaffirmed it to you. Nephron, do we even need to keep going at this stage?
I mean, I guess I would still like him to export the rest of them, but no, I don't really think so.
I don't believe I saw the
How did you miss that?
in that. I don't know.
You weren't. You clearly weren't looking thoroughly. I didn't even know what the fuck your DMs looked like. And I asked you, hey, few words, and then you did it. What was your looking through Vigel's DMs even like? What did you do?
I scrolled through them specifically looking for V Omega, like his name being mentioned.
So did you know that you know who was V? Because you just said you did, didn't you?
At this point, I don't even know if I originally read that message correctly, but I did ask him, and he didn't give me an answer.
Well,
so you clearly know that this is somebody problematic, and who the fuck else was Vigil friends with other than V? Because you already knew from V beforehand. And this is you being told after he implies that he cut them off after Spock to her.
Yeah, it's on me for not drawing that connection.
So in this case, you knew for a year. And if you want to extend it all the way back, at the best for you, you knew up until 2021. At the absolute worst, you knew for 3 years. Anything to say for yourself?
Nothing that would make this any better.
Can I chime in for a second?
Yeah, you can chime in.
Yeah.
So question. So you knew that long. Where the hell were you doing Cloak and Dagger?
Trying to figure out how much I knew.
I am so sick and tired of people having known about this for years. Am I not gonna get a break? I'm gonna mute. Oh.
Well, Mr. A, apparently you didn't look all that thoroughly, given we figured out you knew more than you realized in the 20-minute or the 30 minutes we've been having this call.
Mm-hmm.
He took what, like, we didn't even know what your DMs looked like with Vigil. You opened screen sharing in like what, 5 to 10 minutes peak, we find out that you, Sir Mr. A, knew about Vigil for 3 years and had it reaffirmed to you at least 3 times. I know I said it earlier, and I know you got pissed at me for saying it, but I think you're lying. Dead ass.
Well,
you can believe that all you want.
I don't even think. May I speak for a second?
Of course.
Thank you. I don't even think that, like, it's not even a if you believe. We can clearly see what's right in front of us.
Mr. A, the only other explanation is cartoonish incompetence on your part.
Yeah.
And we'd like to think you're smarter than that.
Unfortunately, I am not, and that's been made very clear, especially recently.
No, Mr. A, I know you're smarter than that. I just bluntly know you are smarter than this. So, anyone have any closing comments to Mr. A here?
Well, I think, truly, and Johnny, you can chime in and say what you want from Mr. A if you would like, but I think you remember what happened to Mav, Doll, Dippy, Neko Shadows?
Yeah, I know.
I think we should join them.
I'm of that opinion too.
Doesn't matter.
I don't feel happy saying this. I have to agree. I'm just. I know I left the commentary community for a while because of tons of shit I wasn't liked. You all saw what I went through. Nobody give a shit. Because I'm starting to wonder how many people actually did. I'm done.
My closing comment is just, dog, I'm gonna put it to you in the most blunt way possible.
Like you haven't already. Alright.
Get the fuck out.
And don't forget to give your DM staff from.
Doesn't it all matter? You know, the efforts I've made post Cloak and Dagger to correct those behaviors.
Yeah. Where's Mav?
Yeah, it does.
Where is Mav?
I don't know where Mav is.
Not in the community, that's where.
Mr. A, I want to be absolutely clear. I'm not dismissing those efforts. I'm saying you can go do that somewhere else. Okay? You can go be better somewhere else for all I care. Anyone have an issue with this?
I'm not even going to deny... Hold on. I'm not going to deny the efforts you made. I'm just upset because we literally had the whole entire Cloak and Dagger thing. I know I mentioned this already. But you've been sitting on this. And if you had just said something... Remember, I can only take the whole entire not remembering so far.
Okay, you weren't here when I said this, but I did, in fact, go through my DMs with Vigil.
Not fucking well enough!
Not clear enough.
We found it in 5 minutes.
I made the effort.
I don't care!
I didn't...
Effort can only go so far.
Yeah, you can say something, Saf, unless, like, Ephraim or fucking or Lucy has...
I don't object.
Make it quick. Just make it quick. I don't want us to all be screaming at him for the rest of the night.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be screaming. I just want to speak for both because I know she's not here. It's just very funny to me that this is the bullshit you're pulling as you're going in the raid dog talking about retribution against Autumn for the OK commentator comment. You do all of this behind the scenes while you talk about retribution. Get over yourself and stop with the fucking self-pity. Just fucking grow up. I'm done.
Okay. So, Mr. A, give me those DMs you had with Vigil. I'd recommend doing that. Is that something that you agreed to do, or did I?
I can export those from my phone, correct?
Alright, and Ephraim, if anything is relevant, please don't give me the shit that they did, like, other than the very relevant stuff.
I have no interest
obviously.
in revealing anything in those DMs outside of the relevant stuff. I want to be absolutely clear. I do not care about anything else.
Okay, so Mr. A, for the crime of being a fucking cloak and dagger fucking piece of shit, get lost.
The verdict is guilty. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, so I guess this is... Do we want to at least...
Can you just kick the bitch?
Well, no, I was gonna ask,
yeah.
do we want to keep him here as he exports, or do we...
I believe I could... I'll at least remove the 18+ rule.
Okay.
Ooh, getting demoted to minor.
You are being demoted to minor by choice.
Okay. Well, outside of that, and Mr. A, you can stop sharing your screen now, by the way.
Yes, you can close it.
Besides that, Mr. A, you're dismissed.
Bye-bye.
Get the fuck out.
Bye. Boot the bitch. Come on, I stopped recording.
Quite frankly, fuck right off.
Yeah, I agree. Bye. Go away.
Okay.
Bye. Wait. Ban? Can I ban?
All right. One thing.